All right. We're diving deep today, folks,
Yeah?
into something, well, let's just say it's something most of us are pretty familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Adult beverages.
Definitely free.
Here's to that. But seriously, we're going way back to explore the very beginnings of alcoholic drinks.
Okay.
Like, how did this even become a thing?
I'm intrigued.
Our main source today is pretty incredible. A legendary tale straight out of ancient China.
All right.
And it involves this guy named Du Kang.
Du Kang.
Supposedly the first dude to ever brew alcohol. Pretty wild, right?
Wow, first ever. That's a big claim.
Big claim indeed. Picture this. Ancient China, Yellow River Valley. Bountiful harvests everywhere. I mean, these folks had grain coming out their ears.
A good problem to have, I guess.
You'd think so, but back then, no refrigerators or anything. So,
Yeah, that's a problem.
huge dilemma. What do you do with all this excess grain before it goes bad?
Yeah, gotta preserve it somehow. I mean, and ingenuity was key for early civilizations, right?
Absolutely. This story really highlights that. Enter Du Kang, right? He's like a minister to the Yellow Emperor, basically tasked with keeping all this grain from, well,
Rotting.
rotting. Exactly.
Yeah.
And his solution, simple, yet kind of genius.
Let's hear it.
He stores the grain in hollowed-out tree trunks.
Tree trunks. Interesting.
Yeah, like natural storage bins, right? Leave it to nature kind of deal.
Makes sense, I guess. Using what you've got.
Exactly. But here's where things get a little
Unexpected.
unexpected, put it mildly.
Yeah.
Wind, rain, sun-time does its thing, you know.
Nature taking its course.
And that stored grain, well, it starts to transform.
Transform how?
Think fermentation, but like accidental fermentation.
Oh, this is where it gets good.
It gets hilarious, actually. Because who discovers this fermented, oozing liquid first?
Not Du Kang, I'm guessing.
Nope, goats.
Goats?
Goats, they find these tree trunks, start lapping up this mysterious liquid. Oh, yeah. And let's just say, they were not prepared for the effects. Picture this. Goats getting tipsy, stumbling around, passing out. I mean, it's got to be the original happy hour gone wrong, right?
That's a funny image. But hey, it probably got people thinking, right?
For sure. I mean, you see a bunch of goats going wild after drinking some weird tree juice. You're bound to put two and two together, right?
Yeah, early humans were super observant, always trying to understand the world around them. This accidental fermentation, who knows, could have been a huge aha moment.
Total light bulb moment. So back to Du Kang. He sees these drunken goats, right?
Yeah.
And instead of being like, nope, not touching that,
He decides to give it a try.
dude was bold, I'll give him that. He takes a sip of this fermented liquid. Talk about risky business.
Especially after seeing what happened to the goats.
No kidding. But he survives. Gets a little woozy, but survives.
Little woozy, huh? That's one way to put it.
Understatement of the century, probably.
Yeah.
But the point is, he realizes this stuff isn't deadly. At least not in small doses.
And like any good scientist, or minister in this case, he reports his findings.
Straight to the top. Tells the Yellow Emperor about this strange water he's discovered.
Now the Emperor's curious, I bet.
And being the adventurous soul that he is, the Emperor decides, hey, gotta try this myself.
Classic. I love that he's willing to experiment too. It really emphasizes the communal aspect of early discoveries.
Totally. It wasn't just one lone genius, you know. It took a village, or a palace in this case.
Collaborative science, early edition.
Exactly. But before anyone else starts chugging this mystery liquid, the Emperor calls in his advisors. You know, always gonna have those wise folks around.
Smart move. Safety first, especially with something new like this.
Definitely. And after some serious examining and probably some cautious sipping, they declare it non-poisonous.
Phew.
That's a relief.
Big relief. And they give it a name. Yuan Qi.
Yuan Qi. What's that mean?
It basically translates to vital energy from the grain.
So it's more than just a drink at this point?
Yeah. It's like imbued with life force, a gift from nature. You know, that makes me think about how ancient cultures often connected food and drink with spiritual beliefs.
Totally. It wasn't just about taste, it was about deeper meaning.
It's like they saw this Yuan Qi as something special, almost sacred.
Exactly. And I bet you can find similar stories in other ancient cultures too. Fascinating stuff.
Definitely. But let's get back to Du Kang. So he's discovered this Yuan Qi water. It's a hit with the Emperor. What happens next?
Well, the Emperor, being super impressed with his newfound beverage, gives Du Kang a new task.
I bet I can guess.
Figure out how to make this stuff consistently.
Right. No more relying on accidental fermentation.
Exactly. Time to ditch the tree trunks and get a little more scientific.
Yeah.
I imagine Du Kang's workshop was like a prehistoric brewery, experimenting with different grains, storage techniques.
Totally. Trying to nail down the perfect recipe.
Trial and error, my friend. Like, does temperature matter? What kind of container works best? So many questions.
And every experiment brings us closer to what we know as brewing today.
Right. Du Kang was basically laying the groundwork for an entire industry.
From happy accident to intentional production. Amazing.
Totally. And to celebrate this momentous occasion, they call upon another legend, Cang Jie,
Cang Jie?
the guy who supposedly invented Chinese writing. No pressure, right?
Wow, that's bringing out the big guns. What's his role?
He's tasked with giving this new beverage an official name and creating a character for it.
Okay, so he comes up with the Chinese character for wine.
Yep. And get this, his description of it is pure poetry.
Lay it on me.
He says, and I quote, "This water has a fragrant aroma and is mellow. Drinking it elevates the spirit."
Whoa. That's beautiful.
Right. It's not just about getting buzzed. It's about the whole experience.
The aroma, the taste, the feeling it gives you.
Exactly. Cang Jie nails it.
He really does.
So there you have it. We've journeyed back thousands of years, explored the probably mythical origins of alcohol.
It's a great story, even if it's not exactly historically accurate.
Totally agree. But it gives us a glimpse into how ancient cultures viewed the world.
Right. Their ingenuity, their willingness to experiment.
And their love of a good drink. Let's be real.
Hey, some things never change.
Cheers to that. But it makes you wonder, right? What seemingly ordinary things today might hold the potential for future discoveries.
That's a great question to ponder.
I think so. Like, what if we're just overlooking something amazing right under our noses?
Keep your eyes open, folks. The next big breakthrough could be anywhere.
Couldn't agree more. So next time you raise a glass, remember Du Kang and those tipsy goats. They may just be the unsung heroes of happy hour.
Here's to the accidental discoveries that shape our world.
Cheers to that. And until next time, keep exploring.